Most people think leadership is glamorous. You've got the title, you're in the meetings that matter, you're shaping strategy. But here's the truth, nobody tells you. Being a product leader is lonely, really lonely. When you're the one constantly pushing for better ideas, challenging the easy answers, and holding the line between business urgency and product reality, you're not always popular. You'll often feel like the odd one out, the person in the room who sees the iceberg when everyone else just wants to keep sailing. And that's the paradox. As a product leader, your job is to drive clarity, alignment, and momentum across the business. Yet, the more you do it well, the more isolated you can feel, because leadership isn't about fitting in. It's about creating change. And change is uncomfortable, not just for the organization, but for you. I still remember the first time this hit me hard. I had just presented a carefully thought out product strategy to the executive team. I'd done the research, spoken to customers, lined up the data, even framed the risks. The room went quiet. Then someone said, "This all makes sense, but we just need to build faster. Can we launch next quarter?" In that moment, I realized my role wasn't to be liked. It was to hold the uncomfortable truth that if we skip the hard work, we'll burn time and money. But guess what? Nobody thanks you for pointing that out. So let's talk about why loneliness shows up in product leadership and what you can do about it. First, you're often straddling competing worlds. On one side, the CEO and executives are pushing revenue, market share, and growth targets. On the other side, the product team and engineers are saying, "Wait, what's the problem we're solving? What's the impact?" Your job is to bridge those worlds, but that bridge can feel like no man's land. You're not fully business in the eyes of leadership, and you're not fully engineering either. You're the translator, the glue, and translators rarely get the spotlight. Second, you're in the business of saying no, not because you want to, but because you have to. Every shiny idea, every urgent sales request, every pet project from a stakeholder comes across your desk. And while the easiest path is to say yes, the responsible path is often to say, "Not yet," or "Show me the data." That's lonely work. People rarely celebrate the things you stop from being built. They only see what ships. Third, you see risks others don't. Product leaders live in the future. You're constantly scanning for signals, market shifts, customer churn, weak spots in the product. That means you're often the one raising red flags before anyone else feels the pain. And in the moment, it can sound like pessimism, like you're slowing things down. But in reality, you're protecting the business. Again, lonely. So, what do you do about it? How do you stay effective when leadership feels like a solo climb? For me, it comes down to three things. One, build your tribe outside the company. Every product leader needs a circle of peers they can be honest with, people who get it. Because sometimes you just need to vent, to share the battle scars, to realize you're not crazy for caring about the things others overlook. If you don't have that, the weight gets heavy fast. Two, find small wins inside your company. Even if you're pushing uphill on the big stuff, look for opportunities to show impact in smaller ways. Maybe it's cleaning up how roadmaps are communicated, or running a lightweight discovery that prevents wasted spend. These wins remind people, and yourself, that product leadership isn't just about saying no. It's about unlocking better outcomes. And three, reframe loneliness as a signal, not a failure. Feeling isolated often means you're doing your job. You're holding a different perspective, one that others may not yet see. That's the whole point of leadership. If you were always comfortable, always aligned with the crowd, you probably wouldn't be leading. Here's the mindset shift that helped me. Leadership isn't about removing loneliness. It's about building resilience in the middle of it. It's about knowing that the discomfort is a byproduct of doing meaningful work. Because here's the other truth. Change rarely starts with a chorus. It usually starts with one voice, one person willing to stand apart and say, "We can do better." That's you. And yes, it's lonely, but it's also powerful. So if you're feeling that loneliness right now, take it as a sign you're in the right place. Keep going. The best product leaders are the ones who push through the silence, the doubt, and the resistance, because they know what's on the other side is worth it. And one day, when the results land, people will look back and say, "Of course that was the right move." They won't remember how lonely it felt in the moment, but you will, and that's what makes it leadership.